Sixers rookie Matisse Thybulle has become the latest NBA player to transition from just a basketball player to front of the line of the cultural zeitgeist. Did I use that word the right way? But it's not for something Matisse did on the court. No, Matisse has become the new it guy of the sports world because he's documenting the daily lives of himself and his teammates in the NBA bubble on his YouTube channel. He's pulled back the curtain to show exclusive workouts, game practices, shenanigans on the golf course, and that's all in just one video. As of this recording, his channel has over 300,000 subscribers. Jealous? No, me jealous? No, come on. No, I'm not jealous. Please subscribe to my channel. In today's video, we're learning more about the man behind the camera. I'm looking at Matisse's journey to the NBA. I'll tell you what the experts said about him before he was drafted, if those predictions were accurate, and what I think his role in the league and with the Sixers looks like going forward. Hey guys, it's Troy, and Matisse Thybulle is quickly becoming everyone's favorite NBA player with his life inside the NBA bubble YouTube videos. I think this is a guy who's going to be around the NBA for a long, long time, so I want to use today's video to talk about his background and the type of career that Matisse Thybulle can have in the NBA. Matisse Thybulle is currently in his rookie year with the 76ers. He was drafted in the 2019 NBA draft by the Boston Celtics with the 20th pick, but was traded to Philly on draft night. Thybulle spent 4 years playing college ball at the University of Washington, where he had career averages of 9.2 points, 3.1 rebounds, 2 assists, 2.4 steals, and 1.4 blocks. In fact, his senior year, he even led the NCAA in steals at 3.5 a game. He was also top 20 in blocks for all NCAA players. And that's pretty impressive for a guy who's only a 6'5 shooting guard. So what did the draft experts say about Matisse Thybulle prior to the 2019 draft? I'm going to talk about that, then we're going to tie it all back together to what his rookie year with Philly has looked like and see if we can get an idea of the type of player Matisse Thybulle can become. Let's rewind to last summer, and Thybulle was being compared to players like Andre Roberson and Thabo Sefolosha, types of guys who are strong defenders but not likely to blow you away with their offensive production. This is what NBADraft.net said about Matisse Thybulle. For his strengths, they said he's a lockdown defender who really has the potential to be utilized in a similar way at the NBA level. It's all about defense for Thybulle because he's wired in a way to put as much attention on that part of his game as on the offense. And he has excellent physical tools, really help to anchor Washington's 2-3 zone, really dangerous in the open floor, can make that open three, and his three-point percentages lead to optimism about what he can become as a floor spacer in the NBA. For his weaknesses, he needs to get more comfortable when he's playing on offense, because sometimes he'll force things a little bit. That shooting, it does need to improve. It needs to be more consistent. He can make the threes, but really not at a level to where he'd be considered reliable in that area. His ball handling also needs to improve. Overall, though, a lot to like about Matisse Thybulle, especially from a defensive standpoint. Blocks the shots, gets the steals. If his offense improves, he really has the potential to be that quintessential 3-and-D two-way player in the NBA. The sky's really the limit to what he can accomplish. If his offense remains shaky, he projects to be much more of just that defensive specialist, Tony Allen type player. NBADraft.net says that where he gets drafted will be really important because fit, more than a lot of guys, is really key with Thybulle's development. Needs to go to a team that is going to be able to utilize his unique skills and be patient with him as he develops. Might have to spend some time in the G League. Interestingly enough, nothing about his amazing video editing skills. I think they missed on that one. For this next part of the video, let's talk about that fitting in part, because the NBA is full of guys who were oozing potential, but for whatever reason or another were drafted to a team that didn't allow them to be the best version of who they could be. So is Matisse Thybulle a good fit? with the Sixers. Maybe a little bit too early to know for sure if they're the best case scenario for Thybulle, but we can at least analyze what we do know. When you look at Matisse Thybulle's rookie season, stats-wise, it's been a modest rookie year for him. Just under 5 points a game, about a rebound and a half a game, about 1 assist, about 2 steals, all in under 20 minutes per. Doesn't blow you away on the surface, but remember, Matisse is that type of player whose primary value does come on the defensive end, and that's not going to be easily captured by what you're always going to see in a box score. He clearly mattered to the Sixers, and that's what's important here. They did use him as a starter right from the beginning of the season, played him double-digit minutes in every game after he returned to the lineup from a minor knee sprain in mid-January. I think all things considered, his defense was as advertised. You know, a lot of times a coach just wants a rookie not to screw up too bad when he's playing defense. But Thybulle, he went beyond that. He actually brought positive contributions to the court on the defensive end. He became just the 7th player in NBA history and the first rookie to play at least 1,000 minutes in a season and post steal and block percentages of 3 or higher. Can we just stop a second to talk about Kerry Scurry? I mean, who is that? It sounds like an alias that Steph Curry would use when he's checking into a hotel. His block percentage was also the 2nd highest in NBA history for a player 6'5" or smaller who's played at least 1,000 minutes. Here's a list from Basketball Reference. Basically, if I'm Matisse and I'm on a list that has Dwayne Wade on it half a dozen times, then I'd take that as a good sign. Thybulle was also tied for the league lead, having blocked 16 opposing three-point attempts. And to the person who keeps up with that stat, we salute you. The unique defensive package that Thybulle's defensive skills come in also makes an incredibly interesting piece going forward. This season, he's been able to guard 1s and 2s, and he was also a solid team defender for Philly. On offense, Thybulle showed some expected limitations, but also that he could contribute in the more complementary ways that is going to be expected of him as the key piece on a future contender. So you heard me mention earlier in the video, there were questions about his outside shooting in college, but with the Sixers, he's knocked down a respectable 37% of his catch and shoot three-point attempts and 35% overall in 2.5 attempts per game. He shows a pretty high basketball IQ as well, and he can also run the plays, find weak spots in the defense when he's in the game too. Again, any offense you get from Thybulle is going to be gravy. His offensive ceiling isn't very high, his three-point percentage could tick up a few points, but in terms of off-the-dribble creation, he's probably always going to be limited to a version of what Danny Green has done for the Spurs, Raptors, and Lakers over the years. But that's okay, because Danny Green was a starter on championship teams for the Spurs and the Raptors, and he may end up doing the same thing for the Lakers as early as this season. Are we going to be saying the same thing about Thybulle 5 or 6 seasons from now? Teams need glue guys. And with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid the focal points of the Sixers offense, a player like Thybulle is a welcome addition to the team. There's every reason to believe he'll be an integral part of the Sixers' championship aspirations for the next several seasons. Those are my thoughts, but tell me in the comments what you think. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel as well. As always, thanks so much for watching. This is Troy with the Half Court Report, and I'll see you next time.